Picture this. A lion stalking across the African savanna manages to take down its prey about 30% of the time. Hawks diving through flocks of birds, they're successful roughly 23% of the time. Even the legendary peregrine falcon, diving at breakneck speeds, only nails its target about a quarter of the time. But there's one predator that puts all of these apex hunters to shame, and it's probably hovering right outside your window. The dragonfly achieves something that seems almost impossible in the natural world. A hunting success rate that pushes 95%. That's right. These tiny aerial assassins are more deadly than any lion, shark, or eagle that has ever lived. But here's where things get absolutely wild. The dragonflies you see today are nothing compared to their ancient ancestors. 300 million years ago, before dinosaurs even existed, the skies belonged to winged monsters with wingspans stretching over 2 feet wide. These prehistoric giants ruled the airways like flying demons, snatching up prey the size of small birds. So what happened to these aerial titans? And how did something so small become the most efficient killer on the planet? The numbers are mind-blowing when you really break them down. While African wild dogs working together might achieve a 67% success rate, making them some of the most effective land predators, dragonflies operate on a completely different level. Recent studies tracking these insects revealed something that left researchers stunned. Out of every 100 hunting attempts, dragonflies successfully captured their target an astounding 95 times. To put that in perspective, if human athletes performed at that level, we'd be watching people hit home runs 95% of the time or sink basketball shots from anywhere on the court with near-perfect accuracy. What makes this even more incredible is that dragonflies aren't just successful predators, they're aerial predators. Hunting in 3 dimensions, while both you and your prey are moving at high speeds through the air, is arguably the most complex hunting scenario in nature. Yet these seemingly delicate insects have cracked the code in ways that make military fighter pilots jealous. They don't just catch their prey either. They execute these hunts with surgical precision, rarely wasting energy on failed attempts. But the dragonflies buzzing around today are actually the miniature descendants of absolute monsters. Journey back 300 million years to the Carboniferous period, and you'd find yourself in a world that looks like something out of a nightmare. The air was thick with oxygen, nearly 35% compared to today's 21%, and this supercharged atmosphere supported insect life on a scale that's hard to imagine. Enter Meganora, the giant dragonfly that would make modern species look like toys. These prehistoric beasts boasted wingspans reaching 71 centimeters. That's over 2 feet of pure aerial terror. Imagine encountering one of these monsters today. With wings larger than most birds, and the same ruthless hunting instincts as their modern cousins. They were the undisputed rulers of the ancient skies. Fossil evidence shows they dominated the air for millions of years, long before any bird or bat existed. They were living fighter jets in a world where flight was still a revolutionary concept. The forests of the Carboniferous period must have been incredible to witness. These giant dragonflies would have swooped between towering prehistoric trees, their massive wings creating shadows that smaller creatures learned to fear. They hunted other large insects, early amphibians, and anything else that moved within their domain. For tens of millions of years, they were the apex aerial predators of planet Earth, perfectly adapted killing machines that owned the skies. So what makes dragonflies, both ancient and modern, such incredible flying machines? The secret lies in an engineering marvel that puts human aircraft design to shame. While most insects have what scientists call indirect flight muscles, dragonflies evolved something far more sophisticated. They have direct flight muscles that attach individually to each of their 4 wings. This means they can control each wing independently, like having 4 separate helicopter rotors working in perfect coordination. This independent wing control allows dragonflies to perform aerial maneuvers that seem to defy physics. They can fly forward, backward, sideways, straight up, straight down, and even hover in place with pinpoint accuracy. They accomplish this through different flight techniques that they can switch between instantly. Counterstroking involves flapping their front and rear wings completely out of phase, creating maximum lift for hovering or slow forward movement. For high-speed chases, they switch to phase stroking, where the rear wings beat 90 degrees ahead of the front wings, generating incredible thrust that can propel them over 50 kilometers per hour. But perhaps the most impressive technique is synchronized stroking, where all four wings beat together simultaneously. This generates massive amounts of lift and acceleration, perfect for sudden direction changes when pursuing prey. It's like having afterburners that they can fire at will, though they can only sustain this energy-intensive flight mode for short bursts. The level of control and coordination required for these maneuvers is staggering. It's like watching a master pianist play 4 different melodies simultaneously with perfect timing. Yet all this incredible flying ability would be useless without the sensory system to guide it. Dragonfly vision is so advanced, it seems almost supernatural. Their compound eyes contain over 30,000 individual lenses. That's more than 15 times what you'd find in a housefly. These eyes wrap around their head almost completely, giving them nearly 360-degree vision without having to turn their head. But the real magic happens in how they process what they see. Each of those 30,000 lenses can detect motion across multiple color spectrums, including ultraviolet light invisible to humans. This creates a visual system so sensitive that they can spot a tiny gnat from incredible distances and instantly calculate its speed, direction, and future position. Their brain processes this information so quickly that they don't just see where their prey is, they see where it's going to be. This is called predictive interception, and it's the same technique used by military targeting systems. What's absolutely mind-blowing is that dragonflies don't chase their prey the way most predators do. Instead of following behind and trying to catch up, they calculate an intercept course and fly directly to where their prey will be in the future. It's like throwing a football to a receiver. You don't throw to where they are, you throw to where they're going to be. Except dragonflies do this calculation instantly, in 3 dimensions, while flying at high speed themselves. This brings us to one of the greatest mysteries in evolutionary biology. If dragonflies were so perfectly designed as aerial predators, and if their giant ancestors ruled the skies so successfully, why did they shrink? What force could possibly drive such efficient killing machines to abandon their dominance and become the relatively tiny insects we see today? The answer involves a dramatic change that transformed our entire planet. The leading theory points to one of the most significant environmental shifts in Earth's history: the Great Oxygen Crash. During the Carboniferous period, atmospheric oxygen levels were incredibly high, reaching 35% compared to today's 21%. This oxygen-rich environment could support much larger insect bodies because insects don't have lungs like mammals. Instead, they breathe through a network of tubes called tracheae that deliver oxygen directly to their tissues through passive diffusion. As oxygen levels gradually declined over millions of years, the maximum size that insects could achieve while still getting enough oxygen to their tissues also declined. The giant dragonflies simply couldn't get enough oxygen to power their massive bodies in the lower oxygen world that emerged. It was like trying to run a high-performance engine on low-grade fuel. The system just couldn't sustain itself at that scale. But there's another fascinating theory that adds a competitive element to this story. Around 150 million years ago, something new appeared in the skies: birds. These feathered competitors brought their own advantages to aerial hunting, including warm-blooded metabolism, more efficient lung systems, and eventually, larger brain-to-body ratios. As birds began occupying the niche of large aerial predators, there may have been evolutionary pressure for dragonflies to specialize in hunting smaller prey where they wouldn't compete directly. The combination of environmental pressure and competitive displacement created a perfect storm that drove dragonfly evolution towards smaller, more specialized forms. Rather than going extinct like so many other ancient giants, dragonflies adapted by becoming incredibly efficient hunters of small flying insects, a niche where they could maintain their legendary hunting success without competing with larger predators. Today, dragonflies continue to inspire cutting-edge technology in ways their ancient ancestors never could have imagined. Engineers study their flight mechanics to design more efficient helicopter rotors and drone systems. Military researchers analyze their predictive targeting abilities to improve missile guidance systems. Their lightweight wing structures influence aircraft design, while their compound eyes inspire new camera and sensor technologies. Some of the most advanced micro-drones in development directly mimic dragonfly flight patterns, aiming to achieve the same level of maneuverability and efficiency. The U.S. military has invested millions in developing dragonfly-inspired surveillance drones that could hover, dart, and change directions with the same precision as their biological inspiration. In a sense, we're trying to recreate the aerial dominance that these insects perfected hundreds of millions of years ago. The next time you see a dragonfly hovering over a pond or darting between plants in your garden, take a moment to appreciate what you're actually witnessing. You're looking at a living piece of evolutionary perfection that has remained virtually unchanged for 300 million years. That delicate-looking insect is actually one of the most sophisticated aerial predators ever created, carrying within its tiny frame the legacy of giants that once ruled prehistoric skies. Those gossamer wings hide flight technology that surpasses our best engineering efforts. Those beautiful compound eyes contain visual processing power that makes our most advanced cameras look primitive. And that small brain coordinates hunting strategies so effective that they put every apex predator on Earth to shame. In a world full of fierce tigers, mighty eagles, and powerful sharks, the humble dragonfly quietly maintains its position as the ultimate assassin of the animal kingdom. Perhaps we should be grateful that evolution pushed these incredible hunters towards smaller sizes. Imagine a world where 2-foot wingspan dragonflies still ruled the skies with 95% hunting success rates. Any creature that could fly, including us in our aircraft, might find themselves on the wrong end of the most efficient predatory equation nature has ever devised. The dragonfly's story isn't just about biological success. It's a reminder that sometimes the smallest hunters cast the largest shadows in the game of survival. That's a wrap on today's wild journey. But here at the Zoo-phoria show, we're just getting started exploring nature's most incredible stories. Subscribe if you want to keep discovering the shocking, hilarious, and downright unbelievable truths about the animals sharing our planet. Your next favorite animal fact is just one click away.